In this video, we're going to take a deeper look at the regex module, specifically touching upon different methods that we can call upon. So to start, we're going to need to import the regex module, so we can put import re. And the first method that we're going to take a look at is one called findAll. Now we did see a quick example of the findAll method in the last video, but let's cover it again for completeness. So we'll first of all set a string, and this string will simply state, hello, you can contact me on 01234567889, or you can contact my friend on 98765 Now let's suppose our goal is to obtain a list with two elements, and those two elements should be the two mobile numbers respectively. Well, this is where the findAll method can come in handy. The findAll method will return a list of all non-overlapping matches in the string. So pause the video here and see if you can obtain the two mobile numbers. Now the way we can obtain these numbers is by first setting our regex expression. So if we create a variable and set this equal to single quotes and then pass in \d and then the plus symbol, we know that this will search for one or more digits from 0 to 9. So with this variable set, we can now create a variable called match, and we can set it equal to a call on the findAll method from the regex library, so re.findAll, and in parentheses, the first argument will be the pattern, which we've stored in a variable called regex, so we can pass in regex, and the second argument will be the string that we want to search within, so we can put the variable string as our second argument. If I print to see what's stored in match, you can see that we pull back the two mobile numbers respectively. So findAll enables us to search for a pattern in a string, and it will return a list of all non-overlapping matches in the string. The next useful method that we can use from the regex library is one known as compile. Now with the compile method, regular expressions are essentially compiled into a pattern object, and we then have methods that we can use on these pattern objects for carrying out different operations, such as searching for pattern matches or performing string substitutions, for example. So if we first of all create a variable called sentence and set this equal to the string, and this will pick out just the letters from A to E. We can then create our pattern object. So if we create a variable called p and set this equal to re.compile, and then in parentheses pass in the regex pattern square brackets a-e, this creates a pattern object. So if I now put p dot and then press tab, you can see we have different methods that we can call upon on this pattern object. One being findAll. We have others such as formatch, groups, pattern, split, and so on. So if we now put p.findAll, all we need to do now is pass in the string that we want this pattern object to search through. So it does the exact same thing as the findAll method. So if I pass in sentence into parentheses and then run this code cell, you can see that we bring back elements in a list with each element representing a letter from A to E that is found in the sentence. And notice here that the capital A at the start of the sentence is not picked up because it's case sensitive. We'll do one more example with compile and findAll for good luck. So we'll create a pattern object named p, and we'll set this equal to re.compile. We can then in brackets pass in \d, and \d will essentially represent a single digit. We can then print to the screen a call on the findAll method from the pattern object labeled p, so p.findAll, and in parentheses, let's put the string, he was born at 1 AM on the 10th of July, 1991. If we run this code cell, you can see that we've searched through the string utilizing that pattern object, and each digit that it came across was stored as a separate element in a list. If I copy and paste this code and change the \d to \d and then the plus symbol, you can see we pull back the same digits but this time one or more digits are stored as a separate element if they are observed in a group. So we get 1, 10 and 1991 being the order that the numbers are identified in this string. Okay, great, so the next method I want to introduce is the method known as split. Now what this method will do is split the string by the occurrences of a character or a pattern. And when it finds that pattern, the remaining characters from the string are returned as part of the resulting list. So if I were to print a call on the split method from the regex module, so print and in parentheses re.split, the first argument we need to pass in refers to the pattern. And as we know, the pattern denotes the regular expression that we're trying to match. So in this example, we'll put backslash with a capital W and the plus symbol, which hopefully you can recall what it stands for. It denotes non-alphanumeric characters. The second argument we pass into the split method will be the string that will be searched in and in which the splitting occurs. So if in this example we put the string hello, comma, then a space, then hello, then a space, then a comma, then a few spaces and the word hello, when I run this code cell, you can see we bring back a list with 3 elements and it simply contains hello, 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 because the string is split where the comma or the white space is found. If I copy and paste this line of code and simply change the capital W for a lowercase w, you can see here that we're splitting on the alphanumeric characters. So where a non-alphanumeric character is identified, you'll see it represented in the list accordingly. So we can see some spaces, a comma and a space, and so on. Now let's suppose that we create a sentence and we wanted a split wherever a number was observed. So if we copy and paste this line of code and then change backslash W plus to be backslash lowercase d plus, which we know represents 1 or more digits, we can then change the string to be on the 1st of January 2022 at 9 AM. When I then run this code cell, you can see that we print to the screen the groupings of characters up until the point where a digit or digits were observed. So we're splitting on digits in this example, hence why we don't bring back any element in the list which is a digit. Okay, great, so let's just finish with a couple of the more common methods from the regex library, and the first one is the sub method. Now the sub method stands for substring, and it will take in a few arguments. So let's just see it directly in some examples. I will first of all print the result of re.sub, and the first argument will be the pattern that we're trying to match. So if in this example I tried to find the word guitar, this will represent our regex pattern. I can then put a comma, and the second argument we pass in is what we would like to replace the string with if this pattern is found. So let's say we want to replace all occurrences of the word guitar with the string piano. We can therefore put piano as the second argument. The third argument represents the string that will be searched in. So if we put the string I like playing the guitar with guitar in capitals because I love the guitar with the second guitar being lowercase, if I were to run this code cell, you can see that we print to the screen I like playing the guitar in capitals because I love the piano. Now notice here that this sub method has identified the lowercase guitar at the very end of the sentence and has changed it to piano. The capitalized guitar is not changed because it's case sensitive. But if we didn't want this to be case sensitive, we can copy and paste that code line, and the fourth element we can pass in is to a parameter known as flags, and we can set this equal to re dot and in capitals ignore case. When I now run the code cell, you can see that we print to the screen I like playing the piano because I love the piano. And now both the capitalized guitar and the lowercase guitar are both replaced with the string piano. Now we don't necessarily have to replace all the occurrences of the word guitar, so if I copy and paste this code line one more time, if I only wanted the first occurrence to be replaced, I can also set a parameter known as count, And if I set this equal to 1 and then rerun this code cell, you can now see that we print I like playing the piano. So the first time that the guitar pattern is matched, it's replaced with the string piano, but then it follows with because I love the guitar, because it's already at that point met the count of 1 and the second occurrence is ignored. So hopefully that makes sense with respect to the sub method. Let's now cover our final method, and we use this a lot in our previous videos. It's one known as search. Now the search method either returns none if the pattern doesn't match, which we saw earlier, or it will return a match object which contains information about the matching part of the string. And this method will actually stop after the first match, so it's best suited for testing a regular expression more than the extraction of data from a string itself. But let me show you a more practical example as to how we can use the search method. If I create a variable called regex and set this equal to the raw string where we have a substring, so if I put parentheses and in parentheses put square brackets, A to Z lowercase and A to Z uppercase, and we'll then follow this with a plus, so one or more occurrences of this pattern. I then put a space and then I put another subgroup where we put \d and then a plus, so one or more occurrence of a digit. We'll now create a variable called match and we'll set this equal to re.search, in which we'll pass in the regular expression or the pattern, so this will be the regex variable, and the second argument will be the string that we want to search within. So let's simply put I was born on August 10. If I now print what's stored in match and then run this code cell, you can see that we obtain a match object, telling us that the match August 10 was identified at index 14. And that's because it's matched this pattern. It first of all matches a certain number of characters, either capitalized or lowercase. It then has a space, and then it has a number of digits, in this case 2. So that was the first time it matched this pattern. But how can we get information out of this? Well, we can utilize the methods that come with the match object. So if I put if match does not equal none, in other words, if match actually does come back with a match object, well then we can print some information to the screen. So let's first of all print the string match at index, then curly braces, comma, curly braces. We can then use the format method and we'll call upon match.start for the starting index, and then we can put a comma, and the second element will be match.end by calling on the end method on that match object. Before running this, we'll print some more stuff, so we'll also print full match and then curly braces. We would then use the format method and we can pass in match.group, and if we pass in 0 into the group method, this will just bring back the full match that it's observed. If I copy and paste this code line twice more and change full match to month and day, and I then put match.group 1 for the month and match.group 2 for the day, this will actually return the subgroup of the match by the index. So 1 will be in reference to August and 2 will be in reference to the group 10. So if I now run this code cell, we first of all print the match object, we then print match at index 14,23, just like we would expect based on the line above. We can see the full match is August 10, the month is August, and the day is 10. So we've been able to extract information by utilizing methods on this match object, which is pulled back because we've called upon the search method from the regex library. So lots to digest here. Regular expressions can obviously be very powerful in pattern matching, and there are definitely times when you'll need to use them in order to validate some of your code. For example, think about validating the format of a password or the format of an email address. If you want it to be in a certain way, you could check to see if it complies with a regex expression, and that way a user isn't able to input something erroneous. A great feature to have in your toolbox. Don't worry about remembering all of this off by heart. There are cheat sheets that can help you out. Just know what it can do and how it can be useful. In the next section, we're going to be looking at the concept of timing Python code. So I'll see you there.